Imagine taking a job where, for weeks at a time, your only companions are two other men, the endless roar of the Atlantic Ocean, and a lonely lighthouse standing on a tiny rocky island, with no neighbors, no visitors, no nearby villages, and no way to leave until the relief boat finally arrives. Then imagine that one day, all three men simply vanish without a trace. No bodies are ever found, no witnesses come forward, and no one can explain what happened. This is the true story of the Flannan Isles mystery, one of history's most chilling unsolved disappearances. The year was 1900. Far off the rugged northwest coast of Scotland lay a small group of rocky islands known as the Flannan Isles. These islands were so remote that very few people ever visited them. Towering cliffs rose straight out of the sea while powerful Atlantic storms crashed against the rocks with incredible force. To protect ships sailing through these dangerous waters, a lighthouse was built on the largest island, Eerie, completed in 1899. It stood as a lonely guardian overlooking the sea. Keeping that light burning was no easy task. 3 lighthouse keepers had to live there together for weeks at a time, completely cut off from the outside world. Their job was demanding because every evening before sunset they had to prepare the powerful lamp that guided ships safely through the darkness. They carefully cleaned the giant lens until it sparkled, checked every part of the machinery, wound the clockwork mechanism that rotated the light, and made sure everything worked perfectly. If the light failed for even a single night, ships could crash into the dangerous cliffs below. Their work didn't end there. During the day they cleaned every room, maintained the equipment, painted metal surfaces to prevent rust, repaired any damage caused by storms, recorded the weather, and wrote detailed notes in the lighthouse logbook. Every day followed exactly the same routine. They woke up, inspected the lighthouse, maintained the machinery, cooked meals together, watched the endless sea, and waited for the next supply boat. Life on the island was completely isolated. There was no radio, no television, no telephone, no internet, and no easy way to contact the mainland. The only sounds they heard were the crashing waves, the howling wind, and the cries of seabirds flying above the cliffs. The 3 men on duty that December were James Duckett, the principal keeper, and the man in charge, Thomas Marshall, an experienced assistant keeper known for his dedication, and Donald MacArthur, a temporary replacement who had spent much of his life working around the sea. Although the work was lonely, it wasn't unusual. Across Scotland, many lighthouse keepers accepted this isolated life because it offered steady work and respectable pay. They understood the dangers and took pride in protecting sailors they would probably never meet. Every few weeks, a relief keeper arrived by boat carrying fresh food, supplies, and newspapers. One keeper would return home while another took his place, and everything depended on that schedule. In early December 1900, life on the island appeared completely normal. The lighthouse continued shining every night, the keepers carried out their duties as usual, ships passed safely through the surrounding waters, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Then everything changed. On the evening of December 15, 1900, several passing ships noticed something unusual. The lighthouse was dark. The powerful light that had guided sailors safely through these dangerous waters every night had suddenly disappeared. At first, the captains believed it was only a temporary problem caused by bad weather or a fault with the equipment. But as the night went on, the light never returned. Days passed, and no signal came from the island. Unknown to everyone on the mainland, one of history's greatest maritime mysteries had already begun. The next relief boat was delayed because rough seas made it impossible to reach the island. Finally, on the morning of December 26, the relief ship Hesperus approached Eerie and Moore. On board was relief lighthouse keeper Joseph Moore, who expected nothing more than another routine change of duty. But as the ship drew closer, something immediately felt wrong. Normally, one of the lighthouse keepers would be waiting near the landing platform to welcome the arriving boat and help unload supplies. This time, no one was there. The captain sounded the ship's horn several times, hoping someone would appear, but the island remained completely silent. There were no voices, no movement, and no sign of life. Only the endless sound of waves crashing against the cliffs echoed through the cold winter air. Captain James Harvey ordered Joseph Moore to go ashore. Moore climbed the long stone staircase leading up to the lighthouse, expecting to meet the keepers at any moment. Instead, he found himself surrounded by an eerie silence. The island felt abandoned. When he reached the lighthouse, he discovered that the main door was closed but unlocked. He slowly stepped inside and looked around. At first glance, everything appeared perfectly normal. The kitchen was neat and tidy. The lamps had been cleaned and filled with oil, ready to be lit again. Nothing inside suggested that anything unusual had happened. There was just one problem. The 3 lighthouse keepers were nowhere to be found. Joseph Moore searched every room, calling out the names of James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur. No one answered. He climbed to the top of the lighthouse, searched every floor, checked the storage rooms, and then walked across the island looking for any sign of the missing men. There was nothing. It was as if they had simply disappeared without leaving a single trace. Captain Harvey soon joined the search. Together they carefully examined the western landing area where supplies were normally brought ashore. It quickly became clear that something powerful had struck the island. The iron safety railings had been badly bent, a large wooden supply box had been smashed into pieces, thick ropes had been torn from their fastenings, and several heavy rocks had been moved by the tremendous force of the sea. The evidence suggested that enormous waves had crashed over the cliffs with incredible power. Investigators also noticed another unusual detail. 2 sets of heavy waterproof coats were missing, while one waterproof coat had been left hanging inside the lighthouse. This suggested that one of the keepers may have rushed outside without taking the time to put on his protective clothing, something experienced lighthouse keepers would rarely do unless there was an emergency. So what really happened? After studying all the evidence, investigators concluded that one keeper had probably gone outside to secure equipment during a violent storm. When he ran into trouble, a second keeper likely rushed out to help him. Seeing both men in danger, the third keeper may have followed immediately without stopping to collect his coat. At that moment, investigators believed that a massive rogue wave could have crashed onto the cliffs, sweeping all 3 men into the freezing Atlantic Ocean within seconds. For many people, the explanation made sense. But one question has never gone away. If that is really what happened, why were no bodies ever found? Not one body washed ashore. Not a single piece of clothing was ever recovered. It was as if the ocean had swallowed every trace of the 3 men forever. As the years passed, the mystery only grew. Some believed the men had been taken by an enormous rogue wave. Others spoke of ghost ships, sea monsters, mysterious lights, or even foreign spies. These stories spread around the world and turned the Flannan Isles into one of history's greatest maritime legends. Yet despite all the rumors and supernatural theories, no credible evidence has ever supported them. Today, most historians believe the simplest explanation is still the most likely. 3 experienced lighthouse keepers probably lost their lives to the overwhelming power of the Atlantic Ocean. Yet because no one witnessed what happened, no one can say exactly how those final moments unfolded. The lighthouse continued to stand on the cliffs, its light shining once again across the sea. But the fate of James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur remains unknown. More than 125 years later, visitors still look toward that lonely lighthouse and ask the same question people asked in 1900. What really happened on Eilean Moor? Perhaps the Atlantic Ocean knows the answer. But if it does, it has kept that secret forever.